Education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we'll help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. I am your host, Preesca Obasi, and it's always a pleasure to have you join us for another meaningful conversation. Now, today, I'd like us to reflect on a decision that many parents make with the very best of intentions. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. I am your host, Preesca Obasi, and thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Today, I'd like to begin with two classrooms. One classroom existed 15 years ago. The other exists today. In the first classroom, a teacher asked, "What is the capital of Kenya?" Immediately, students reached for their notebooks. Some remembered, some guessed, some promised to check the encyclopedia when they got home. Now imagine today's classroom. The same question is asked. Before the teacher finishes speaking, one student has already typed the question into an AI chatbot. Another has searched online. Another has asked a smart speaker. And within seconds, they all have the answer. The question is no longer, can students find information? Today's question is, can students understand, evaluate, and use information wisely? That is the challenge of our generation. Information is right at our fingertips, and sometimes how we can utilize it matters. Now, let me tell you a story as usual. Let's call a boy Daniel. Daniel was a secondary school student, a senior secondary school student. He was bright, he was curious, he was ambitious. One evening, his English teacher particularly asked the class to write an essay titled "My Vision for Nigeria." Daniel had heard about artificial intelligence, so he opened an AI chatbot and typed the topic. And within seconds, a beautifully written essay appeared. Perfect grammar, excellent vocabulary, strong structure, and Daniel copied everything. The next day, the teacher read the essay. She smiled. She gave him 95%, and the class applauded him. Daniel was, of course, happy, but something happened a week later. The teacher asked every student to stand up in the class and explain the ideas in their essay. When it was Daniel's turn, he couldn't explain his arguments. He couldn't defend the ideas. He couldn't even remember some of the words he used. For the very first time, Daniel realized something. The AI had written an excellent essay, but it could not educate him. That story raises a question. If artificial intelligence can write essay, if it can solve mathematics, if it can summarize books, it can translate languages, generate images, and even help with computer programming, when then is the role of education? Or what then is the role of education? Should students stop learning? Should schools panic? Should teachers be afraid of AI? Or is there another way to think about this? Let's explore these questions together. What is artificial intelligence? Now let's begin with a simple definition. Artificial intelligence, often called AI, refers to computer systems that can perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. Now, these tasks include understanding language, recognizing images, solving problems, generating ideas, analyzing information, making predictions, and assisting with decision making. AI is not magic. AI is not a human brain. It is a tool built by humans to process information and perform specific tasks, just as your calculators changed the way we solved arithmetic. Computers changed the way we work. The internet changed the way we access information. AI is actually changing the way we think, we learn, and we create. The question is not whether AI will become part of our lives. It has already become part of our lives. The real question we should be asking is, will we use AI wisely, or will AI begin to use us? Think about it. Now, the fear surrounding AI. Whenever new technology emerges, people become really afraid. When calculators were introduced, some believed children would never learn mathematics again. And when computers arrived, many feared jobs will disappear overnight. So that fear is not new. When the internet became very popular, some thought libraries will become irrelevant. But is that the case today? No. So today the conversation has shifted to AI. And parents are asking, will AI replace teachers? Students are wondering, why should I study if AI can answer everything? Professionals are even asking, will my job still exist in the next 10 years? These are understandable questions. So hold on, we're going to answer all of that today. History teaches us something. Technology rarely replaces people completely. More often, it changes the way people work. The people who thrive are those who learn how to work with them, with the new tools rather than ignore them. Now, let's bring it to the Nigerian reality. Let's begin, bring it closer to home. Across Nigeria, many students already use AI, right? Some of you use it to understand difficult topics, to improve your grammar, to prepare presentations, to practice interview questions, to generate ideas. Others use it to copy assignments, others use it to avoid thinking, others use it to complete projects they do not understand, and submit work that is not even their own. Now, notice something. The problem is not AI. The problem is how it is being used. A knife can prepare a beautiful family meal. The same knife can cause harm. The problem is not the knife. The user determines the outcome. The same is true for AI and technology. As usual, on Edit Shift will bring you counseling theories. Tonight's educational lens comes from Albert Bandura. Albert Bandura believed that people learn not only through instruction but also through observation. So his theory explains that we often imitate behaviors we see rewarded. He identified 4 important stages of observational learning. The first is attention. We notice the behavior. The second is retention. We remember what we observe. The third is reproduction. We imitate or practice it. The fourth is motivation. We continue to behave if it appears to produce a good result. We'll continue to that behavior, right? So applying this theory now to today's topic, which is AI. Think about students today. A student watches classmates using AI to complete assignments in 5 minutes. The student notices, the student remembers, the student imitates, the student receives praise for the assignments. Soon, the behavior becomes a habit, right? Now, Albert Bandura would say that learning has taken place, not because the student was taught in class, but because the environment rewarded the behavior. This means parents and teachers cannot simply say, don't use AI. Instead, we must model responsible use. We must teach students how to use AI ethically because, again, AI has come to stay. If adults do not guide them, social media will actually guide them. The internet rarely teaches wisdom. A question for every viewer, and I would ask you, if AI can answer questions, what questions should humans begin to still learn to answer? Perhaps these ones, who am I? Would AI answer that for you? Maybe if you have given it prompts over time, it will help you, but truly only you can answer that. It can actually guide you. What do I value? Can AI answer this? Again, with constant communication with it can, but truly you have to evaluate and get your answers for yourself. What is right? What is wrong? Sometimes you ask, what is wrong? And AI gives you a list of all the things that you have been bluntly told as wrong as right. So you alone again can answer that. What kind of person do I want to become? No machine can answer those questions really for you. At best, they'll give you a clue, but you should be able to answer those questions yourself. Those questions belong to character, and character one of education's greatest responsibility. Artificial intelligence is not the enemy and will never be the enemy. Like every tool humanity has created, its impact largely depends on how we use it. The question is no longer whether AI will become part of education. It already is again. The real question should be, how do we prepare students to use AI ethically without allowing AI to replace the very habits that education is meant to develop? Now, what AI cannot replace? There's something I want every student watching today to remember. AI is very powerful, but AI is not human. AI can generate answers, yes. It can never replace your character. It can organize information, yes. It can never replace your integrity. It can write a speech. It cannot replace your conviction. It can suggest ideas. It cannot replace your wisdom. It can analyze patterns. It cannot replace your compassion. Now, these are the qualities that define us as human beings. And these are the qualities education must continue to nurture. The skills of the future. Years ago, success depended largely on memorization or memorizing information. Today, information is everywhere. The students who will thrive are those who know what to do with information. Now let's look at some of the skills that will become even more valuable in the age of AI. Number one skill is critical thinking. Now, instead of asking what is the answer, students should learn to ask, is this answer accurate? What evidence supports this? Are there other perspectives? Critical thinking helps us evaluate information instead of just accepting it or accepting everything we see online. Creativity skills. AI can generate ideas for you, yes, but human creativity gives ideas the meaning it should have. Some of the world's greatest inventions came from people asking on questions, imagining new possibilities, and connecting ideas in a flow. The schools should continue to encourage imagination, innovation, music, art, design, and creative problem solving. Communication is another point. No matter how advanced, we'll still need to explain ideas, we'll still need to resolve conflicts, we'll inspire teams, and still need to build. Students who communicate clearly and respectfully will always have an edge, will always have an advantage. Another point, collaboration. The future belongs to people who can work with others. AI can process data for you, but it can never replace genuine teamwork built on trust, built on empathy, and shared responsibility. Emotional intelligence is another point. One of the greatest strengths of human being is the ability to understand emotions, recognizing how someone else feels, showing empathy towards them, encouraging others, managing disagreements, building healthy relationships. These are the skills every child should develop. Let me tell you about two university students. I wish to call them Emeka and Aisha. Both discovered AI during their first year. Emeka used AI to complete almost every assignment. He copied responses without reading them carefully. He graduated with impressive grades. But during job interview, he struggled to explain concepts. He found it difficult to solve unfamiliar problems because he had rarely practiced thinking independently. Aisha also used AI, but she used it differently. She asked AI to explain difficult topics. She requested examples like a layman. She practiced interview questions. She asked it to critique her writing. She compared AI suggestions with her textbooks and lecture notes. She treated AI like a tutor and not a substitute for learning. And years later, both entered the workforce. One depended on AI because he had never developed confidence in his own abilities. The other used AI to become even more effective because she already understood the fundamentals. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was how they used AI. Now, I'll pass a message to students. If you're a student watching this, student, hear me carefully. There's nothing wrong with using AI to learn. There's everything wrong with allowing AI to think for you. If AI writes every essay, how would you learn to organize your own thoughts? If AI solves every of your problem, how would you develop resilience? If AI answers every question, how would you learn curiosity? Remember this, Education is not simply about producing correct answers. Education is about producing capable human beings. And that is for students. Now let's go to parents. Many of you did not grow up with AI, of course. Your children are growing up in a different, completely different world. Please do not respond with fear alone. Respond with involvement. Ask your children, how are you using AI? Explore the tools together with them. Teach them about honesty. Explain why submitting AI-generated work as their own is unethical. Help them understand that shortcut may save them today, but it can limit their growth tomorrow. Your role as a parent is not only to provide school fees, your role is to also shape their values. Now, a message to teachers. This is an opportunity to rethink learning. Dear teachers, perhaps the question is no longer, can students memorize information? Perhaps the question now should shift towards, can students apply what they know? Design activities that require discussion. Encourage projects that solve real problems. Ask your students to defend their ideas. Create opportunities for collaboration and reflection. When education focuses on understanding rather than memorization, AI becomes a helpful assistant instead of a threat. Now, let me give you a practical guide using AI responsibly. I'll leave every of my viewer with 5 principles. Number 1, use AI to understand and not to cheat. Ask it to explain concepts to you. Don't ask it to replace your thinking. Verify information. AI can make mistakes. AI can make mistakes. Always compare its responses with trusted, credible sources, trusted textbooks, and your teacher. Learning includes checking facts. Protect your privacy. Avoid sharing personal information, passwords, examination details, or credential and confidential family matters with AI. Digital responsibility is part of digital literacy. Number 4, keep learning fundamental skills. Yes, learn foundational skills. Continue reading your books. Write by your hand sometimes. Practice mental calculations. Strengthen your communication skills. Technology should add to your abilities, not you shouldn't replace your abilities. Now, the 5th point is let your values guide your technology. Just because AI can do something doesn't mean it should do everything. No. Ask yourself, is it honest? Is it fair? AI cannot do everything. Yes. It shouldn't do everything for you. Does it help me to learn? Does it respect other people's work? Ask these questions before engaging. As we look ahead, I believe classrooms will change. Students will learn with AI. Teachers will use AI to memorize lessons. Schools will introduce new subjects. Career will evolve. Some jobs will disappear. New ones will emerge. But one thing remains constant. The world will always need people who can think. People who can lead, people who can solve problems, people who can build trust, people who can use knowledge to improve lives. And that is why education must never lose its purpose. Now we go on a quick break, and when we return, we close.
It's edutainment time on EduShift.
I'm here to convince you that education is better than money. It's always the light skin ones. Aisha, that's racist. You don't need white Nigerian. You want to start fighting with money at your age. Education will give you the knowledge to make money.
Yes, that's correct.
Are you educated? I think so. You are not even sure. Give me 2K. I'm still in school. I'll give it to you in the future. I should wait for 2K in the future. Are you planning to borrow it from your bride price or what? My dream is to become a minister of... Without money, your plan is plan K.
Pump action.
If you were educated, you will know something called scholarships. I'm not educated. The uniform we are both wearing, is it for learning carpentry? What is education? And you said that you were educated. Money is something that we use to buy the things we need. You have it. If I were you, I would take my education seriously. If you were me, you would have to.
Thank you so much for still being here with us. Our kids are doing fantastic. We've learned and explored a whole lot today. Before we close today, I would like to ask you 4 questions. When your child uses AI, are they becoming more knowledgeable or simply more dependent? When technology gives quick answers, are we still teaching children to ask meaningful questions? When the world changes, will our children merely adapt or will they help shape the future? And finally, are we preparing children to compete with machines or are we preparing them to become deeply human in a world filled with machines? Because the greatest advantage your child will have in the future will not simply be knowing how to use technology. It will be knowing how to combine technology with wisdom, with integrity, with creativity, with passion and purpose. As we end today's conversation, remember this. Artificial intelligence may change the way we learn, but it should never change why we learn. Yes, we learn to understand, we learn to grow, we learn to serve, we learn to solve problems, and ultimately, we learn so that we can use our gifts to make the world a better place. Technology should never replace curiosity. It should fuel it. It should never replace hard work. It should strengthen it. And it should never replace human mind. It should challenge us to use it even more wisely. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of EduShift. I still remain your host, Preesca Obasi. Until next time, keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep preparing the next generation, not just for the jobs of tomorrow, but the responsibilities of tomorrow. This is EduShift, where we help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. Bye for now.
Education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we'll help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. I am your host, Preesca Obasi, and it's always a pleasure to have you join us for another meaningful conversation. Now, today, I'd like us to reflect on a decision that many parents make with the very best of intentions,